Are you religious, Mike?
Somewhat.
Do
Bit
you
more.
think the decline of religious values in Western nations is what's causing this rise in progressiveness?
Not quite. Religion and morality go hand in hand very often, and culture. So that there's many different religions, there's many different moralities, there's many different views on all of that in culture. In any successful, growing, developing society, they're hand in hand with that success and that growth is a strong moral base, which is usually attached to a religion, a belief system, whatever religion it may be. That belief system, which has tenets, certain absolute tent poles that are absolute, that are supported just because we say so. The moment you take away those tent poles, when you no longer have absolute belief in that idea, well, then you lose your morality and then you lose your society. These are all things built on each other. But modern progressive ideology is a religion of its own. As much as they want to say it's not, it is. Why? It's built on a belief of an outcome that has no logical way of reaching it, that is empirically not going to ever get you there, that must be adhered to, or else you will be punished. This is like the Romans saying we have to throw the Christians into the lion's den. Okay, you don't believe in the trans political movement. Again, not the people, the political movement. You don't believe in the trans political movement. You are evil. You have to be ostracized. We're going to kick you off of every social media platform that exists. No one will ever be able to talk to you again. How is that not the same thing as throwing Christians into the lion's den? You have to die. You have to be silenced. You can't talk about this. It's the same idea. And you can say that about the feminist movement, gender identity politics, race relations, critical race theory. You can't speak about that. You do not get the choice. You must obey. You must accept this tenet. You must believe. But the difference between that religion, the progressive ideology, versus world religions is its tentpole isn't built on a morality, a unifying view. It's built on control, which is exclusionary. Progressivism is exclusionary. Religion is inclusive. And when you have an exclusionary system that is your belief system, you can't build anything on that, because everything that could be built on it is excluded from it. So it's frail and it falls apart. Whereas religion is inclusive, not to say that there aren't conflicts, but it's inclusive to those in that religion. And you can build on that. You build a morality on that. You build a society on that. You can build, and those societies can last centuries, if not millennia. You can't build anything on sand. And that's progressivism, because it's not built on unifying. It's built on exclusion. It's built on, again, going back to equity. You are a category, and those categories have priorities, and those priorities shift, sometimes on a daily basis. That's sand. You can't build on that. And it is a never-ending creation of categories that have to be prioritized. It never ends. Oh, now we got fat, body shaming. So you're too fat or you're too skinny. Your gender, male, female, 125 different genders, who you're having sex with, who you're not having sex with. It goes on and on. The color of your skin. Again, it just keeps going and going. It's a quagmire. This is quicksand. You can't build on that because there's nothing to build on, because it's always breaking everything down. It's always splitting people apart. You got like, what, 15 categories you have to fill out to be able to figure out whether your voice is more important than my voice. And if I get it wrong, you're ostracized. Kick them off of the internet. Don't ever talk to them again. Don't hire them for any job. Christians in the lion's den. That's what that is. I know progressives are going to hate this. The left is going to hate this.
But does what you've just said then, does that not mean the downfall of religion has contributed towards the fact that progressive is on the rise?
Or as they would like to say, the secular is advancing while the religious is decreasing. Yeah. They always like to word these things in different ways so that it's hidden. So it makes it sound really good. Secular is increasing. The religious is decreasing. That's a good thing. No, it's not.
I really, by the way, just to say, I really like the way you've just explained that, because you've just, I kind of knew it, but I didn't look at it in the way that you just explained it, where society has been built on religion, culture's been built on religion, and it is all firm foundations that it's all been built on. Because if you look at religion and what religion tells you and what the commandments in the Bible talk about, it's all good, positive, helpful, morally good sort of acts.
Altruistic. Yeah.
And it's a similar thing, and I had this conversation with Aron a long time ago now, but the Bible reminds me of a similar sort of thing that's been created, but with your amendments in the US amendments. It's sort of been built in a similar sort of way, where these 10 amendments are to help the people. They're to help. They're here for positive influence, and that's what the Bible was created on, to help people, to guide people, to have positive influence among the people.
Well, think of this. The Magna Carta and the Constitution are built on Judeo-Christian values. The Judeo-Christian values existed first, and then they made the laws built on those Judeo-Christian values. Think of it another way. The Romans, the ancient Greeks, the ancient Egyptians, name a society, the Sumerians, name a society that we can think of today that didn't have religion as a core part of that society. I am not aware of any society that existed for more than, a minute that we can name that didn't have a strong religious base with them. Different religions throughout those times. I mean, Sumerians, Romans, today's society.
There's a society today that I can think of. China don't have a religion, but
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. There's the Shinto and the Buddhist, the Taoist. I know they say
the Communist Party say that they don't want any religion in China.
That's communism, and that's the same thing that they said in Russia, in the old Soviet Union. That's in North Korea. That's in Venezuela, Cuba. Anywhere there's communism, then of course they do not want religion, because again, religion takes away from control. God has the ultimate control, not government. Communism's about government having control. Government controls everything. The state is your religion. So they don't want to compete. And you can't compete against something that is omnipotent and all-encompassing. You can't fight that. We're human beings. So they have to get rid of it. But there are religions in the history of China, in the region of Southeast Asia, like I said, Taoism, Buddhism, Shinto. There's several different belief systems that do exist. And if you look at the core of those areas, even looking at the 5 Chinas time frame of China before it unified, and even after it unified, up until the communist revolution under Mao, there was religion as the basis that allowed them to
work. Yeah. As the foundation.
That's the foundation. Yeah. In every case, we can find that foundation. Today, we are watching those foundations be replaced by quicksand, by a system that is built on deconstruction, not construction. And no one wants to talk about this. No one wants to have this conversation. The left does not want anyone to ever consider this. Again, You don't have to agree with me. Do you understand? Do you understand the argument? And then you should ask the question, why isn't anyone allowed to have this discussion on the major media?